All right, everybody. It's a pleasure for me to introduce you all to Phil and Rawleigh Hartzell, everybody. Let's go. Yeah. From Play Rough fame. Good to have you guys in here.
Was there really a lot of fame involved? I don't know. You know,
depends on who you ask.
No, everybody came in at the end of the thing.
Yeah,
you know?
The music industry
kind of changed.
But good meeting you all.
Same.
For the first time. But
yes, sir.
I have been in the same room with y'all at the Stage Stop reunion and got to hear you guys play for my first time, obviously. And it was outstanding. It was really great. And thanks for doing this. It's been you guys have been on the calendar a minute, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we tried to plan this not long after that show, and now it's been over a year.
It was hard to get schedules to align, but here we are.
So clearly we're here to talk about Play Rough. That's going to be a big part of this, but you've been part of and created other bands, but I also look at them as brands. You guys have, as researching through your stuff, you guys have this business element too, to just creating a brand and a new look and a new sound for different bands. So you got like Nation, M-Town, which is a hip hop dance project, Country Grammar, FM, playing 70s classic rock, Hollywood, modern dance. And then right now you're in the Patio Pirates,
right?
Playing, Jimmy Buffett style. I mean, you guys are covering the whole spectrum.
We've done just about everything. It feels like.
When is the new polka band coming out?
Don't give me any ideas.
From
I'll get at the Lederhosen.
Well, we might could do some square dance.
I have to say this: when the music thing with Play Rough didn't pan out the way I'm sure you hoped it would, you guys could have ended up on the cover of Harlequin romance novels. You had some of the best hair of any cover of any rock band out there. So, yeah, Fabio, that's what I'm getting at.
I miss it.
We all miss it. I had hair at one time. He had hair at one time.
So because of knowing Jimmy,
hey, yo.
There's the sound I told you all about.
Fantastic.
Y'all are from the Cincinnati area. Is this true? Am I getting this wrong?
Southeastern Ohio, real small town in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
Cincinnati's in Ohio, so
it is.
I was close.
You're close enough. Right state. Jimmy grew up in a small town as well, but in Kentucky, just south of Cincinnati,
That's
just
right.
about 45 minutes south
That's
of there.
right.
But we were about an hour to 2 hours away from Cincinnati in a really small town as well. And at the time, we knew we didn't want to stay there. I was just trying to graduate high school, and we literally, a drummer that we had in our band at the time, decided he didn't want to do it anymore. And we went on the old school, find a musician thing. We drove all over the entire state with the little flyer of the band, the little pull-off tab.
Oh, yeah.
Pull the,
Old school. Old school.
Every bulletin board and every...
Did you have the
music store.
hammer stapler? We used to do that.
Yeah, some of them you just had to put it on the wall somewhere.
Yeah.
right.
But yeah, I mean, he went to a music store in Cincinnati and saw this hot pink flyer, Play Rough, looking for a drummer, and I'm sure there was something catchy on there.
The pink.
The pink. Yeah.
Besides
the
the
pink.
pink. They probably said something more nasty. But he answered that, and I mean, literally came up and tried out, and we instantly hit it off. And he moved in with us in our house that we grew up in, and with the plans of getting out on the road. So
Did you already have your bass player?
At the time we did, yeah.
So who's the gentleman that played with you at Stage Stop? Is he an original?
Yeah, well, his name's Kenny. He went on the road with us initially, but not as the bass player. Once we relocated to Memphis in spring of '92, he replaced the guy that was playing with us.
Gotcha. So you were a two-guitar band?
No, he played bass.
But before, I got confused there. So before moving to Memphis, he was in the band.
He was basically a roadie.
Okay. Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, essentially. And he could play bass too, And
gotcha.
We had it in the back of our mind a little bit, but the guy that was with us, his name was Fritz, great guy. We just didn't feel like it was going to work between us. I mean, that's a story that we could tell one time. We still keep in touch with him as well. If he's back, I think he moved somewhere else. But
every roadie's dream, right?
Yeah,
they get to be in the band now.
Well, and bass players usually have to do double duty as roadies.
So he knew how. He can do both.
Knew all the songs already, you know, and had the chops, you know.
Yeah.
And so,
You're going to fire me after that one, aren't you?
So to those that aren't familiar, give us a good description of what Play Rough was, style-wise, mission-wise. What was going on there when you guys really started pushing forward when you had Mr. Jimmy Fulp in the band?
Well, I mean, just like everybody else, we started out influenced by all the late 80s hair bands, the Poisons and the Warrants and the Skid Rows and the Bon Jovis.
Yeah.
And then once that kind of got a little heavier as the 90s started to come along, everybody kind of got a little heavier too. Mm-hmm. And we got more, we started discovering like Pantera, what's that, and Metallica. And then so I think some of those influences came in too.
And that's what I heard at the Stage Stop reunion.
Yeah.
I'm not pretending to know your whole catalog, and I'm sure you went through the spectrum, but you had some heavy hitters on that show.
Definitely. Most of the earlier stuff was more, I guess, poppier, type stuff. And then
I saw the video Hollywood Boys.
Yeah. The first, so there's a CD, a compilation of stuff that we put together recently for F&A Records, and it was basically the earlier catalog, stuff that we wrote, when I was 13, 14, and that was definitely the more 80, the earlier 80s kind of pop rock sound. And we're going to do a second one. Most of the stuff's recorded that's going to involve some of the later stuff, that a lot of what you heard that night as well, because we kind of did a mixture of both.
Yeah. The whole scene went through that same transition. Skid Row's first album was one thing, and then Slave to the Grind, that came out and just kicked your ass.
That's my point precisely, actually. It's the best metaphor for it, I guess, And what were you supposed to do? I mean, I think internally our tastes kind of naturally changed or evolved is a better way of saying it. But at the same time, business-wise, you had to play the game too. Yep. So it was a hard crossroads, I think. Trying to look at it at the time.
Sure.
Yeah, you're trying to hang with the times as they're evolving. You got to kind of ride it along with it,
right?
Don't you?
And I don't think even then we were aware of the complete death of what we were doing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we still, the music got heavier, but we still had kind of the look. I mean, we got a heavier look too, but long hair and stuff. We weren't willing to go down the flannel grunge thing quite yet. It's like, do we really want to jump on? Fun stuff still for the most part. It just didn't, I don't know, the vibe for us.
I will say this, though. We spent a couple years on the road, and the first time we played Memphis, I remember Phil saying, we're going to Memphis. And I thought, wow, I never thought much about Memphis. And played the Stage Stop, and I was just so blown away by the fact they were asking for our music.
Right.
Which, we played all over the country, and it was covers, obviously, and our own stuff. But Roxy Blue had just gotten their deal, Tora Tora and Lord Tracy and all this stuff. We thought, man, what is going on in Memphis? That was a big reason why we came here. Sure. We were so impressed by the original music scene.
Yeah. And we, what kind of choice did we have? We couldn't stay in the little town of Ohio that we had. There was nothing there.
Right.
And do you go to New York? Do you go to L.A.? Maybe there's this place that's still in the heart of the country. And we're like, I think Memphis is it.
What was amazing about this town, you just mentioned the ones who got there. There were a shitload of bands who were that close.
Yep.
And they just didn't quite get that push before grunge hit.
Right on the bubble.
Yeah.
And I've mentioned this before. If the ages were notched down a couple years, everyone's still equal to each other as far as ages, but 2 years earlier, there would have been so many signed bands that would have probably had a way better chance to make it.
Right.
But instead just cut, and the Behind the Music on Warrant, remember Behind the Music? They're talking about how one day they just walk into their label, their cover was above the front desk, but then they walk in one day and it's Alice in Chains, and they knew it was over.
Basically.
I've heard that story.
Right.
So Nita Macris, tell us some stories about Nita, right? Because that is synonymous with Stage Stop. Obviously, she's very beloved. Obviously, Stage Stop reunion was for her. Luckily, she was still alive to see it. But going back, Did you guys ever get squirted by the squirt gun?
How many times?
So tell us about what happens when you swear on stage.
Oh, she comes out with the machine gun and nails you with the water. I mean, yeah. So that's just part of it. You got to pay the bill, But she, when they talk about good people, that's Nita. She's just good people, always has been. I mean, we lived at the band house because we had nowhere to live.
Yeah, she let us basically camp out there,
awesome.
When we were first trying to figure out how to relocate.
Mm-hmm.
We had 200 vinyl albums I had nowhere to keep. So you know where they were at? In the back room of Stage Stop for a couple of years before I could get them back and put them. She just let us. She was just so cool like that,
Yeah.
And she would definitely make you line up straight too.
Oh yeah, no question. She didn't put up with any bullshit.
So that's it. We all probably needed a little bit of that.
Oh, for sure.
Probably.
Like the Lost Boys, you know what I'm saying?
What point did you move? When did that move happen?
So it was in officially May of 1992. I think we first played here early 91, maybe. So there was about a year and a few months before we actually made the actual, when we came into town, we just stayed kind of thing.
Right. Right.
We had purposely stopped some of our dates to coordinate to where we could come here and kind of refocus what we were doing, because we were kind of spinning our wheels doing that too, going out to North Dakota somewhere and playing for a week, and what were we really accomplishing?
Yeah, when you have 1,000 miles in between each stop.
Yeah. We
Or you're zigzagging, you're like, there's no routing here. It's just kind of chaos.
We wanted to find a hub where we could then start building a following outwards. It seemed to make the most sense to us. And
you may have said this, and I may have squirreled. But did the Memphis came onto your radar? Was it through watching MTV? Was it through radio play? How did you really?
It was more about just when we played here.
Once we played here
and realized that what was really happening, and just the result of the fact that they were so supportive, the fan base and everybody there just wanted to hear original music, and we were just like, oh my God.
So the stage stop just kind of landed on your calendar. Stage stop Memphis.
Yes.
Interesting. Let's see what's
Yeah.
cool. Another date.
Yes.
But then you show up and bam.
Exactly.
And like I mentioned before, Roxy Blue had just got back from recording. I don't think the album was even out yet.
I don't think it had been officially.
I can't remember really. But we had done a segment that was on Metal Edge magazine.
They had that Rock on the Rise section.
Cool.
We did a thing on that, and we had met Todd and Sid and them guys, and next thing you know, we opened for them on their New Year's Eve show, and we thought, man, we're in the right place. We're hanging out with the right people and meeting the right people, and we're doing things and moving and shaking, and doing our music. I keep saying that, but it was so refreshing to there was a handful of bands that rotated shows, and there'd be a line down the street to get in to see them, and they were playing their stuff they wrote, which I thought was amazing.
You're like, this is a playground.
What's going on?
And it was the scene was so the opposite of what it is now. Back then, it was the band played their originals all night with one or two covers peppered in. Now it's all covers with hopefully one or two originals peppered in.
And then that's when they go to the bathroom, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Either that or a bass solo.
So for real.
Now, did you guys play any of the other venues? I know you played Stage Stop. What about Night Moves, Rascals, any of those places?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Rascals a few times, and it might not have been called Night Moves anymore at the time we played it. Illusions or something.
I remember when it changed to Illusions. Yeah, okay.
Same building, But yeah, a handful of those places.
Cool.
Yeah.
So how many records did you put out before it eventually disbanded?
So we had a few back then. We EP, demo cassettes, whatever. We had some original ones in the beginning, a 4-song tape that we did when Jimmy first joined the band. This was before we moved here, and then we had another one right after that where we actually drove to Minneapolis, Minnesota to record in Metro Studios out there. They were kind of connected with the agency that was booking us, and that's a lot of that material is what's on this the first FNA record CD is the stuff that we did at that time frame. Then after we moved to Memphis, we did Tug of War is what we called that tape at that time.
Tug of War, I see that in here because you also did a tribute CD, tribute to Def Leppard.
So this FNA Records that did the first Play Rough CD, they have a series of tribute CDs they're doing. The first one was Def Leppard, and we were asked to contribute a track on that. And then they did a Janie Lane tribute one after that, which I don't actually have a copy of that one. They haven't sent us those yet.
Which Def Leppard song did y'all do?
We did Hello America. We wanted to pick kind of a track that nobody else was going to pick.
Derek, if you would have read the notes, you would have known that.
And then the Janie Lane when we did Hole in My Wall.
For those productions, did you produce with Jimmy at his studio?
Yeah.
Broken Snare.
Yeah, man.
What great times.
Yeah.
It sounds great. Too.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I love playing with the guys because it's almost like, I mean, you got to think, 89, 90 was when we met. So when we get together, it could be like a long time that we've played together. Even the tribute, the thing to Nita last year that we did, we hadn't played together in years, And
I was going to ask, did you guys do any rehearsing for that?
We got together one time
and came in and killed it.
It just was like,
never left.
I will say it was harder. Being the singer, it was harder than I thought it was going to be.
Sure, I get it.
It disappointed me a little bit. I thought, man, I'm getting older.
You were a lot younger when you wrote those melodies, right?
Yeah, deny it. It was like I was out of breath. It was hot that night.
Yeah, it was. Oh, that's Neil's.
It was like,
oh yeah.
But it feels so good, Yeah. And then when we recorded those songs, it was the same thing. We literally learned them and recorded them like at the same time. Put the song on, listen to it. Kenny's working this out, and he's like, hey, it's G and then A, and then hit record, And Jimmy's just like,
yeah, he's awesome.
He's the man.
He is, and there's a lot to be said about when you've been with a group of guys for that many years. It just becomes second nature.
To me,
it really comes back pretty easily.
Yeah,
and there's a little bit to be said about you guys being talented as well.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah, that's part of it.
I read here that you also landed some music placements on Young Sheldon.
Jimmy actually called me and said he had some irons in the fire out there. Just if the thing today is obviously getting your music on shows, commercials,
anything,
any of that is great. And there was a company that does that sort of thing that was interested in that time frame of music and happened to see some of the videos that I had posted on YouTube, like the She's Feeling Hungry and stuff like that.
Right.
And they actually wanted to just purchase all the songs on the CD, but we didn't really feel comfortable doing that. But they ended up shopping some of them to this Young Sheldon program because it's set the exact same 1989, and they picked up several songs. There's probably I can't remember how many individual episodes, but it's 3 or 4.
Okay.
It's one of them things where it's in the background. Like Young Sheldon goes into the older brother's room and he's listening to Play Rough on his headphones, kind of thing. Cool. And I can hear it. If you crank it up, it's pretty funny. The other thing, though, there is one episode where they took a snippet of the She's Feeling Hungry video, and the scene starts out where they're watching MTV, and it does a pan to the TV, and you can actually see a snippet of him from that video on it. So
that's cool.
You actually visually, it's literally, you got to be watching. It's like 1 second, but it's pretty neat. I mean, we're getting quarterly royalties off of that, so it's pretty.
Is it
neat.
Phil in the mailbox?
Yeah, like give me that mailbox money.
But that is cool, and those residuals go on forever, especially if it goes into syndication and all that stuff. That's really cool. That must be a neat feeling.
It was pretty cool. It's like, here's this music we wrote, when we were kids,
40 years ago,
and here there's actually that's the first real money I've ever made of it.
Right.
I mean, you make money back then, but it was just enough to buy your ramen noodles or whatever.
And back in the day, Phil was going down to South by Southwest, and it was great too because we had no money that like one of us as a representative would go shop the stuff, and he would go to Texas every year to South by Southwest and sit in these panels and drop off CDs and cassettes, or and one thing led to another, and we got a prospective deal with Tom Werman, the rock producer back then, and he was in town at the time recording Tortora's album.
It was Tortora's what was to be their third album. They were recording it, and he was the producer. I talked to Patrick about that.
Revolution
afterwards.
Day.
Yeah,
And he's like, if he didn't produce that, he just sat and smoked his cigarettes. It's like, that made me laugh. But I think literally Tom Werman, after he kind of made this, I think he was looking at us as something he could still keep doing it in that new music, because we had kind of changed our sound at that time.
Yeah.
Just enough. Changed the name of the band to Love Junkie. I don't know if you saw that.
I did. Yep.
same band. We
same
just
band.
changed our name to be less 80s sounding.
Yeah.
Literally.
Right.
And that deal eventually ended up falling through, and I swear the guy quit right after that because he went to somewhere up north and opened up a bed and breakfast.
Shows how rock and roll he was. Somewhere in northern Vermont.
Right.
For real.
This is the guy that
If you
produced
Google
Cheap
it, you'll
Trick
see
and Dawkins and all these
Yeah,
people.
Twisted Sisters record.
Yeah, it's funny.
I mean, the Spinal Tap movie just covers it, doesn't it?
It
And
does.
You guys lived it, and so many bands from the 80s and 90s. To this day, you're living this hopeful. You get some traction. You get people in your ear. You're amazing. We're
Yeah.
going to do this, do that. And then
Yeah.
it just falls through. And it's just heartbreaking every time.
It's pretty tough.
Yeah. So, I mean, how many meetings did you guys have and letdowns?
I mean,
So many.
many. I mean, we drove to New York City and went up to the top of Atlantic Records and played our demo tape for Wendy Berry was her name. And we had kind of a connection from Ohio and all these things. There's all these little I can tell you the whole story why she should have helped the band, quote unquote, but it just nothing ever.
Just
She
didn't
came
happen.
to Memphis for one of the Crossroads music showcases. The whole reason why you come here is to
Right.
see bands and their original music. We had already had a connection. She was coming to the show. She never came.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're in Memphis.
You
can't
couldn't walk
come to-
across the street.
You know, it's like out of all the bands that she would have been here to see, we should have been at the top of the list. She never even came to see it. And it's just like there's so many
That
those little
letdown.
stories. It's like,
Yeah.
and then
And I'm sure leading to that show, you guys were like, hey, we need to bring it. We got this
Oh,
person
yeah.
out there. This is going to be our chance.
and we did bring it that night. As a matter of fact, I remember it was at Alfred's, and we were like, that was probably the best show we ever played.
It was
And
pretty
like-
hot, yeah.
Did you find out she wasn't there after you played?
After.
That's good.
After.
That's
That is good.
Because there
Not,
would
that
have
way
been
you're not
slight
focused on
deflation.
it. Yeah.
That's funny.
But you have the total opposite stories of that, where there's just this band who's just playing a show and some schmo from whatever record company just happens
Schmo.
in, and bam, overnight they're
Right.
huge.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say those were very few and far between.
course, yeah.
Most of the stories are just like yours.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm
Or-
sure you've heard it from others.
Yeah.
It's very similar, kind of funny.
Yes. You say Roxy Blue.
Yeah.
Tracy Lord.
Yeah.
Or Lord Tracy. It used to be Tracy Lord.
Yeah.
Lord Tracy, all the stage stop bands that come up
Yeah.
all had either right on the edge of getting one or they got one too late.
Yeah.
John Patterson from Tora, he told us, he was like, you couldn't get any closer than we were to being huge and then have it go away.
I can't imagine. Yeah.
He said, we were right there,
Right there.
and it just
Yeah.
bottomed out.
Yeah.
Well, eventually, what's it called? Love Junkie kind of fizzles out. And what's that next thing now? You guys take a break and just try to lick your wounds and kind of move on with your life?
Well, interestingly enough, I remember at that time we discovered Quarter Beer Night down at 616. And so we started hanging out there and became friends with David the Worm. He was the resident DJ there, and listening to different kinds of music. And I remember, like, outside of just what our band had been doing, but going to see other rock bands. And it was always interesting to me. Rock bands would play their set, and then they'd go, "We got a break," and they'd leave, and then the DJ would come on, and then all of a sudden, 1,000 people from nowhere would pack the dance floor.
Right.
So I remember thinking, what if we started a band that played what the DJs played between bands? You know what I mean?
makes sense.
So then we started really kind of like trying to look into this dance pop thing.
Yeah,
That's
we were-
Nation. Right?
Nation.
Nation. We were Nine Inch Nails had already become a really big influence on me and him too, and a lot of people really. But the fact that it was one guy, because back then that wasn't really heard of. I mean, he did everything, all the programming.
Yeah, he's Nine Inch Nails.
He is Nine Inch Nails, right? And it was kind of a foreign concept to us, and we originally, when we were coming up with this whole kind of house music thing, I mean, even then, it's like a DJ playing this music, really. What are we how visually can we pull this thing off and still have kind of that? Because we're all about the cool live show, too, so we didn't want to give that up. And I remember seeing it at South by Southwest, one of the times I was there. It's like back to back, I saw Crystal Method and then the Chemical Brothers. Literally 2 dudes up there. No band, but they had some keyboards and they'd plink this and plink that or whatever.
Start this loop, start that loop.
Yeah. So we had attempted to have a drummer and a full band and all.
It was a work in progress,
and we couldn't. The gel wasn't happening, and then one day I was like, "Fuck it, let's not have a drummer."
Right.
Nothing against drummers, but I was like, I'm creating this on a computer. It's really not supposed to be played by a drummer anyway. So we were at the time doing something we thought was pretty risky. We got 2 keyboard players and 2 singers and nothing else. No drummer, no bass player, and
Rhythm section here, Jeff.
And interestingly enough,
I'm turning your mics off.
And you got to think about, we're in Memphis, which is about rhythm and blues, and so we did feel like, what are we doing here? I will say we did try to do it with a band.
Yeah.
We tried that for a while before it just didn't sound right.
I get it.
And so then he started learning how to program, and he built those tracks from the ground up. Couldn't buy them back then.
Yeah, and this is the late 90s, so this is before you had the technology you have now.
Oh, right. He would sit all night long and do the bass drum and then the snare drum and then
wow, you built them each
build
part
it from the
manually.
day, for every single thing.
I didn't know how else to do it. Using graduated. It started out on just my sequencer on my keyboard, and then of course that morphed into cakewalk recording programs, buying 10,000 sound modules just to get the one sound you need, and hours and hours and hours of work. But once it was going, it turned into something way bigger than we actually expected it.
First of all, we went out and found Stacy Savage, and she was young and had the look and had the talent and the energy.
Yeah.
But the key ingredient, the secret ingredient, was G. Thomas Halfacre, because him and his production, all of us together, we grew up on the Kiss show and the Alice Cooper show,
right?
And so, with his lighting and sound and our imagination and stage presence, it became a thing, man. It was like a rock show.
So cool. When I watched some of your videos, it looked amazing, and it's Thomas. He was on the show, and we talked about his history. There is a funny story about Play Rough that he talks about.
I'm sure.
Getting lost around a loop in some city.
I remember it well.
But we talk about the Kiss anniversary show that they had, the 50th at Lafayette's, and it was amazing.
Very
great work by him. You know.
He's the boy wonder.
Again, when I saw the videos of Nation, it was at a show at Club 152, packed. Did it work? Did the vision work where now you're playing what the DJs were playing? Was it now consistent dance floors for you?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. It was exciting. It was fun. It was it was electric, to coin a phrase.
And were you probably the only ones doing this, right? To a degree in Memphis, as far
as I know. Yeah. Especially then,
Well, and we were successful enough that it enabled us to do that and only that. So that was our day job too.
Nice.
We had a bus and we traveled full time.
Nice.
We played 5-6 nights a week and all over the country. And, it was, we were doing it. It was fun,
But you had cut out Jimmy Fault.
Well, I guess.
Because there was no drummer.
There's that. Right.
Sorry, Jimmy.
Hey, yo.
But, now, sorry if you mentioned this.
Yeah.
It's a mixture of covers and originals. Are you starting to create your own, or is this a cover band? Straight up.
It's both. We did put out 3 full CDs of original music, and at the gigs we would sprinkle them in.
Right.
But it was a lot of cover stuff. But it wasn't covers that anybody, unless you were in the dance music scene.
Right.
Yeah.
It's house music, Prodigy.
I hesitate to say underground because if you're into that kind of music, it wasn't really underground, but it was more like a rave. It wasn't really pop top 40 either.
Were you doing like
Jags.
Moby?
Moby, Basement Jags, Prodigy.
That kind of thing.
But with the original angle to it, were you searching for a record deal again? Were you trying to go down those same avenues?
Thing.
Yep.
How did that go for you?
Very difficult.
I mean, we made some contacts. Due to the Tom Werman thing, I had met Owen Sloan, who was an entertainment attorney who's worked with everybody.
Right.
And he did try to help us a lot with the Nation thing, but he was sort of at the end of his career at that point in time as well.
Did he start a bed and breakfast too?
No, he didn't. Well, I can't be sure.
This show goes in so many goofy directions.
Yeah, I mean, we really did try to push it. I mean, I think if the way that social media is now, if we had the avenues that everybody has today when we were doing that, I think we probably had a better success of trying to push it on our own.
YouTube.
You know what
I mean, people are megastars because of YouTube.
Oh, right.
You never know.
Right.
I mean, you have the avenue to publish and distribute as you wish. But back then, it was the gatekeeper, right?
For real.
Yep.
Yeah.
Derek and I are still trying to come up with something that'll really take off. And
Yeah, we coordinated our shirts today.
All right.
That's a start.
So how long was Nation doing its thing?
Oh, man. What?
So that was from about 97, 98 to 2005-ish.
That's a good run.
Yeah, man. It was fun. It was a little too fun sometimes. We partied pretty hard and
Yeah.
had a good time. But
More than the Play Rough days?
oh, man. Yeah, they're equal. It's funny you say that because when Phil told me about us doing this, I started thinking, how are we going to cram 40 years worth of like what we've done? And then on the drive down here, I was like, well, 90% of it is not really appropriate to even talk about. So we got about 42 minutes of quality stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean the rave scene type thing is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Just like the rock and roll was.
And I was at prime party age in the late 90s. I know what stuff was going on around there.
Yeah.
Man, we would play like Fayetteville on a football weekend, on a Saturday night at this place called Dave's on Dixon. There'd be 2,000 people in there just like it was like a rock concert.
Glow
It was-
sticks, and, all that whole
Look, there was a lot of LSD back then. At least where I grew up, ecstasy. But LSD was huge in 97, 98, at least in my town. I never tried it.
The bartenders would you'd get up on stage and there'd be a shot glasses around your microphones. They're like, we're doing the colors of the rainbows tonight.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was just nuts. you know?
And this was also when there was that whole big jam band scene, Grateful Dead and Fish and everything was super hot. So those hallucinogenic drugs were huge back then. So the raves were no strange, the ravers were no stranger to that chemical.
It got to a point that I remember pre-filling shot glasses with Pepsi, and so when people would buy a shot, we're good.
Yeah.
We're drinking
Jaeger
because
or
we couldn't be, you wouldn't live
you
through.
would-
You
you
couldn't
would.
do it,
Yeah, I've been in that situation before.
So,
Yeah.
what do you do?
Well, when are we doing a tribute show to this? I'm ready to rent out meals and have these guys come in, and we'll just have this thing going on.
You just deliver shots of Pepsi to them. Just a tray full.
Yeah, we've been retired
Diet
for a while
Pepsi
now.
Same here. All right. Well, what kind of causes the fizzling of Nation? Like just burnt out?
I think it had gone its
Just
run.
ran
Just took its course.
Took its course. Sometimes there is a natural
Absolutely.
okay, there really isn't. We've done the things we can do,
Yeah.
and whatever success was going to come out of it, it was what it was.
Well,
so
and
to
it
speak.
sounds like it was really successful.
It was.
You guys did really well with
It
it.
was
So
cool.
you can't complain.
Yeah, I think the only problem at that time is we looked at each other and said, "Well, what are we going to do for a living now?" So, which is kind of why we went down we kept putting other cover bands together, really just for the reason
To pay the
our
rent.
bills, because we didn't have regular.
But good for you to keep
jobs.
it going. You could have just grabbed day jobs and you kept fighting for that. That's awesome.
I mean, eventually it got to that. You know, you start having a family at that point, and then I started thinking, do I really want to do this for a living anymore?
Yeah.
And the cover bands became more of just that, the extra money, keep the juices flowing, and you know, that was the idea.
My oldest daughter, that's now 21, she turned 2 and started saying "Daddy." I was like, man, I got to rethink some things. You know, it's. I think about that sometimes today. I think, how do you like encourage your children to like follow their heart and do what they really want to do, but yet be practical too? I think that's a hard thing.
It is,
you know?
and you have to find balance.
Yeah, because we literally, he graduated high school and we got in the van with a bunch of long haired guys and took off, you know, and
it really was nonstop pretty much until after Nation for the most part, to where it started to slow down a little bit. But I mean, we were still playing some of the same clubs when we put M-Town together, just because it was a hip hop dancey thing. We could still play those and keep making money.
Yeah.
But that's when we really started to rethink. It's like, this really isn't the reason why we wanted to play music. To be honest, I mean, we just wanted to play our own music. I mean, from the heart of it, you can be creative and put together the themed cover bands. And I think that's kind of the reason why we liked the whole theming part of it. And like I think you said, brands, you know, we liked the promo. We wanted it to have
creative process.
That was the only way we could get the creative part out of it, because otherwise you're just playing someone else's song. But what part of it is your own part of it if there's somebody else's songs? Right?
And it helps niche you down. It's like, again, it goes back to that brand and image. It becomes a product, right?
Yeah.
Not to sterilize it. But yeah, so you mentioned M-Town. That was the next on the list here.
Yeah.
So what is M-Town?
It really just, we were trying to pay the bills. Really, it was a cover band that did hip hop and pop, Black Eyed Peas kind of stuff.
Was it full band, or did you go back to tracks?
So I just basically took what I was doing behind the keyboard, and then I pretended I was a DJ. I had a thing in the back, and I stood up here, and I put everything on 2 CD players, and I mixed shit and stuff like that. I'd never done that before in my life either. So, but I felt like that was the kind of image we needed.
But the worst part about that band was we actually auditioned several people to rap, because we were doing a lot of stuff that had rap. But everybody that auditioned wanted to freestyle instead of learning a song verbatim.
Like, do the Jay-Z part or whatever, and they wouldn't do it. So he ends up
rapping,
doing that.
Right.
Did you do any Vanilla Ice? I mean, that had to have been on the set list.
I will tell you this to this day: the hardest thing I have ever done musically was rap.
Yeah.
Especially
Oh, sure,
like Eminem. We used to do that. What's that song? You gotta lose yourself in the music.
There's so many words.
9,000 lyrics.
I mean, that's Eminem. That's
oh man, we did that.
That's
and
crazy.
The Jay-Z and
I mean, all that, like,
don't make me lose my mind up in here. All that
DMX.
stuff.
And,
was it just you two?
so we had 2 female singers as well. Vanessa
Sudbury.
Yeah. Okay.
Was
she was in
joined
M-Town
that band
Yeah.
with us.
Okay.
That's right. I saw the pictures you sent me too. That's
Yeah.
right. I remember seeing her on there, and I'll be mixing these photos in. as
Man, we
go.
played full time with that band too. We actually did pretty well.
Yeah, I
with
mean,
that.
because there was a big scene for frat parties and stuff on college campuses, and we'd go in there and play all the hip hop stuff they wanted to hear, and it went
So it's sort of
over.
like Nation, but then it just flipped to a different
Kinda.
genre.
Yeah.
2 females, you two, no
Yeah.
drums.
Yeah,
No
it's
drums.
strictly covers though. We weren't trying to do anything but pay the rent.
You weren't You weren't writing rap lyrics.
It's like I can't honestly. It's hard for me to watch it now and keep a straight face. I'm like, I can't believe I went there, but I had to. You know, it's like
what
I
you
like
do.
to eat dinner. I got used to that.
Got used to that.
So a normal transition from hip hop, of course, is going to country.
Right.
Of course.
Right,
Derek's
so-
favorite genre.
Don't get me started. So now, country grammar.
Yeah.
Country grammar.
Yeah.
Is that like a joke?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
from a Nelly song. It's
Okay.
yeah.
I just thought maybe the country accent.
It's
joke.
the name of one of his songs.
Yeah, and it was just a play on that, and anybody knew the name of that. Now, Thomas actually came up
I
with that
believe
name,
he
too.
did. Yeah.
And Mott was
Yep.
was
Man,
in that, and
I'll tell you this: Country Grammar was a great band.
we were
Now, did you go
good
full
players.
band? Drums?
Full band,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Chippy played drums for us.
Yep.
He was in one of the original
Wayne
bands
Walker on
from-
guitar.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wayne Walker playing
Yeah.
country music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't picture that.
That's yeah,
it was good.
great.
He played. I played guitar too, but I was more played the rhythm. He took over all that because he
Can play
He
guitar.
can do the chicken
right.
picking.
He's
Yeah.
really good.
Who was on bass?
Mott.
Mott.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yep.
And this was all covers.
Yep. All
Yeah.
covers.
And
Yeah.
being 2008 to 2011, I'm assuming this is like Clint Black type country or
Yep, we did that. We did Kenny Chesney.
Yep.
We did Toby Keith.
Rascal
we did
Flatts.
Shania
Nice.
Twain.
Keith Urban.
Garth
Keith
Brooks.
Urban.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Was Aldean hitting then? Jason
A
Aldean?
little bit.
Yeah, I don't know if we did.
yeah, it
one.
may have been a little bit before him.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, that's the one genre of music I don't know a whole lot about.
Understand.
Personally,
You're just learning the songs.
Yeah.
I mean,
Make a list and learn them.
yep.
Neither one of us like or listen to country music at all. I mean, really.
Not really. I mean,
But there's money out there.
Yeah.
This is genre that will pull in money. It's just people love it.
I think even more so now. I mean, you guys are put together a contraband or something similar, right?
Oh, that was
short lived. With I was in that for a minute
with Sean
and
Few.
Sean Few, and
That's our Sean Few sound right there.
I think there's definitely a crowd.
yeah.
Demand
Derek
for
and
it.
I we played together for a summer doing country
Okay.
shows.
We've
With,
done a bunch of different things. They
Yeah.
had a lot of country.
yeah,
I love playing that 90s, early 2000s, like the dancier, like
Yeah.
you said, Clint Black or Travis Tritt.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
stuff's fun to play.
Okay.
And I've always thought it'd be a cool idea. It'd be a big product. But have a band and then have two line dance instructors up front pulling people out of their
Yes.
seats coming up.
Definitely.
And I got that idea from the Wild Horse Saloon in Nashville. That's what they do.
Yeah.
I mean, they just have hired guns. So any band that plays, you could be playing a Guns N' Roses song. They're not square dancing, line dancing out there.
Yeah.
Just doing the steps and everything.
Square
so,
dancing would be interesting.
so it'd be neat if you know, to
Yeah,
do
that's
that.
great.
And it gets people out of the seats.
Yeah.
And you guys can have that idea if you
I
want.
was going to say, call me after the.
You have a rhythm section here. That's what I'm saying.
Put that together.
Yeah, Derek. Once the Aldean, the modern country stuff, Derek played that for so long that he is so sick of it.
It's an ongoing joke.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm sure people are getting really sick of it, but
No, that's,
great band. But yeah, it kind of gets old.
they can start their own podcast.
Yeah. All right. Now moving to FM, 70s classic rock.
Yeah, so
Band.
Country Grammar kind of morphed into that because Chippy still played drums, was on bass.
Who's Chippy?
So he originally moved here from Louisiana back in the whole
Stage stop.
migration stage stop days, and he was in a band called Thunder.
That name's
At
come
the
up.
time. He played with the hand-me-downs at Neil's that
Thunder,
night.
Louisiana, Keith Blanchard.
Yes.
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 yeah.
Yes.
Yes, they
Yes. Yeah, well, I just edited his interview yesterday. That's why. Literally.
It really is one big family, honestly.
It is.
It's crazy.
And it gets blurry trying to connect dots for
Yep.
sure.
We all know each other.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's so cool about it.
Yeah.
That's what made this podcast work because
Yep.
everyone wants to listen to their friend's story.
I love it.
It's all connected in that way. But
It's good.
anyways, so FM.
Yeah, so we this was the 70s classic rock that we grew up on, Aerosmith, Cheap Trick, and we hadn't done something like that in a while at the time, so it was like let's do that next, And it, like I said, they were already playing with us in Country Grammar, so it was easy to kind of
Just move into that.
That band was more just for fun and an outlet,
Yeah.
I think.
So
more
by
than
this
anything.
time, do you have day jobs?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was
Yeah.
in school. I went to college and got a degree in dental hygiene, believe it or not.
Okay.
It's down here at UT. And
It was finally like, okay, we need to grow up.
I just went, what can I do that makes good money in a short amount of time? I picked something. I hadn't sat in a classroom in 20 years, 30 years or whatever. So
But did you continue in that field?
I worked it for 2 years. Oddly enough, I worked with Sid Fletcher because he became a dentist.
Going to ask you
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Oh, how weird is that?
That is crazy.
He opened his place up there in Cordova. Yeah. And I walked in the front door and he was like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "What are you doing here?" Yeah.
Roxy Blues guitar player.
Yeah.
If you're going, who the hell is that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sid.
he
Early, like original.
yeah, original guitar player, and he went on to be a dentist.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And I was his dental hygienist for a couple years. This is
funny.
weird, but
Hey, let's start a band, guys.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I got it. I'm in sales now, but I just didn't really like it. But
Yeah. But hey, you had to start that journey,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because you're coming with no resume.
nothing.
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 What do you do?
They look at your resume and you're like, I played in this band. Like, wait a minute, you're applying for an office job.
Right.
What's going on here?
For real, man.
What did you step into, Phil?
Luckily, I started working for Audiographic Masterworks, which did CD manufacturing. It was owned by Brandon Sievers and Mark Yoshida. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but Mark Yoshida had a studio here in Memphis called Rocking Chair Studios. And when we first were on the road, we recorded at a studio. I had met Mark that way.
Yeah.
Is he with Memphis Record Pressing?
So we turned into
Yeah.
Memphis Record
Right.
Pressing.
Because you're
So-
still with them, right? I
Yeah.
saw that in your bio.
Yeah. So it was just the two of them, and they did. Mark did mastering, and Brandon did design work.
yeah, I actually reached out to Mark about doing an interview on here. So show him this episode, Mark. We still want to interview you.
Come on.
So that luckily I'm still there. I mean, that was almost 20 years ago.
So many musicians work there.
Oh yeah,
You know, our good friend Lance Binder.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
You know,
So I work with him every day, and
yeah.
of course,
Tim Dills.
we have that relationship when he moved here from Texas back in the day.
Akasha.
Yeah, man.
They need a reunion, Lance. I know you're listening. Akasha, please.
Double billing, play rough and a costume.
I'm down
man,
with that.
now you're on to something.
Absolutely. And Ken Houston works there. John
yeah,
Patterson works there. Tim Dills. I'm missing so many, I'm sure. But
plenty.
it's pretty cool, though. I mean, it's a safe haven for some musicians to still kind of work in the music industry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm making records. Right?
There you go.
They're just not mine.
Just in a different way. Yeah.
So, Hollywood.
Yeah.
Now you're back to a dancey band, modern dance party band, right?
Yeah, we kind of took the same idea of Nation in a way, the cover side of it, played more popular stuff to book weddings and
full
corporate
band?
parties. A full band this time. Joey McBride, who was in Gabby Johnson was in. Stacy, that was in Nation with us. A guy named Rick Evans played drums. A friend we met that ended up being a drummer, and he had an electronic kit which kind of worked with what we were doing. He could pull up any sound for whatever we were doing.
And ironically, Lance played a couple gigs with us.
He
for
did.
Hollywood.
We
Nice.
needed Joey had something going on, and when we booked a wedding or something, a couple gigs that
We did a lot
Lance
of
jumped in.
Peabody rooftops and New Year's Eves and things like that. It's private stuff, and it was just fun, something for fun, literally. You know,
But still, though, your promo video and the way you presented it, I mean, you guys go all in on the product, if you will. It looked great. It was a great promo, and it must have got you work, right?
It did. Yeah, you can thank Thomas for some of that too.
Yeah.
'cause he's-
Thomas Halfacre Production.
Yeah.
and Paul Stanley.
And Paul Stanley.
Yeah, I mean, in 1977, looking at that Love Gun poster. What can I do that's cool like that?
Yeah, we tend to go a little overboard. I mean,
We do.
Hey,
If it gets you work,
it gets you work, yeah. And it sets you apart, right?
It does.
So how long did that go for? I see 13 to 17, so
that-
good 4 years.
Sounds right.
Doesn't that seem like the natural kind of time frame for a band?
Yeah.
You know?
It has been in our experience, I think, for the most part, anywhere from 4 to 6 years each
Yeah.
project.
That's a usual run. But then
Yeah.
you keep plugging along because then you start, and what you're doing now is the Patio Pirates.
Yeah, we kind of joked about it because I started listening to a lot of Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah.
And I just love that laid back, beachy kind of vibe. And I was like, I want to play that kind of music. And I was like, oh, let's do it, And we just do it kind of as a duo. Vanessa will come sing with us if the budget is there, so to speak.
Okay,
if we
yep.
book a party and they want, we're like, hey, we can get a female to sing, some other music.
Yeah.
if you
Sure.
Give us a little extra
She's not
money.
busy with Rock the Boat.
She's busy playing in a lot of bands too. So
Nice.
we don't play a ton. It's really when our schedules meet up and if we feel like doing it.
It's literally like a poolside kind of thing.
Yeah, and you guys have been at this for a long time, so you're
Yep.
probably at that point where it's like, I'm not really going to kill myself to do this, but if a good gig comes along, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah. Understood.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen,
Yeah.
I could talk for another hour with y'all, but we have someone else coming in, right?
Yeah,
Don't we,
man.
Jeff? Is he texting us?
No, not yet. That's why I've got my phone laying here so I can see
But
if it comes
pleasure
through.
meeting you all.
Same.
Thanks for
Thanks.
doing this.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get to see you all again. I would love to get to see Play Rough again. Jimmy,
definitely.
come on.
Yeah,
Get
man.
these guys together because your bass player is in Nashville.
He's in
Yeah.
Nashville. I mean, we definitely
Kenny Miller on bass.
would find the time to play a gig here and there if it came to it. We are working on the Tug of War second CD
yeah.
that is going to happen.
Yeah.
So when we do that, we will book some kind of show of some
and
sort.
you still have
Yeah.
some fun collaboration going on now, all
Yeah,
these
man.
years later. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
It's great.
That's awesome.
And I can tell you guys now that we're at the end of this, but Jimmy was supposed to bust up in here with some Milwaukee's best.
Yes!
Yeah. But he
Cold
never
Milwaukee.
made it, so Jimmy,
made-
what the hell?
Well, actually, Jimmy is here right now because this is Jimmy and Sean Few.
Yeah, it is. They wrote this.
Yeah.
How about that?
Awesome.
Isn't that cool? They gave us this song. We were like, this is the new theme song. About episode 20 or so in, we
I know
changed
the
it.
snare anywhere.
Yeah, buddy, yeah. Well, before we say goodbye, we got to thank the audience for hanging out.
Show.
Appreciate you following us on Facebook. We're at 1,500 now. We're north of 1,500. That's huge. Facebook, Instagram, at The Rhythm Section Pod. Plus, you can find all our archive episodes, everything you need at therhythmsectionpod.com.
Yep. And Sunday replay, check it out. All your favorite episodes are coming back around, and we don't have the intro on the replays, so you can skip the Derek and Jeff nonsense. Tip bucket. We've got the links in the descriptions. You can. What am I doing? I'm losing my mind. All right, the Rhythm Section Pod on both Venmo and Cash App. And send us emails. We really do want some questions. The Rhythm Section Pod 2022 at gmail.com. You can ask us all about Play Rough and these guys.
The dumber the question, the better. We will put you at the top of the list and read it over the mic.
For sure.
Check it out. Well, all right, Phil, Rawleigh, Hartzell, pleasure.
Yes.
Thanks for doing this,
Thanks
y'all.
for doing it, guys.
And
Thank
thanks
you.
for hanging out, everybody. Take care now.
Appreciate
See
it.
ya.